Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new video. Now today I'm going to be ranking the top 10 drones in Tanki Online. Now of course this is my own personal list. Please let me know what your top 10 would be in the comments down below, or just let me know what your favorite drone is. So without further ado, let's get straight into the list. Now the number 10 spot is going to Mechanic. Now when this drone is maxed out, you get an additional 1,000 healing points when you use your repair kit. Now this can be really helpful in a lot of situations. Like if you're attacking multiple people, that repair kit can go a lot more than just a normal repair kit. Or when you're just getting attacked by a freeze or a turret that shoots a lot of damage super fast, the repair kit won't just go 1/10 of your heal, it'll actually probably heal you a good amount. Now overall this drone isn't the best, but considering it's one of the crystal drones and it's relatively cheap to upgrade if you go on sales, that's why it's going to go in the number 10 spot. The number 9 spot is going to go to Brutus. At first I had this a lot higher on the list, but after using it a bit, it wasn't as good as I initially thought. Now the main reason it's even top 10 on the list is because it is super duper affordable. Now like I said before, this drone does not have a ton of great effects, but it's basically a free drone and very inexpensive. Now this drone also doesn't use any batteries, so it's basically a free drone, and if you can't afford to purchase any other drones, why not just grab this drone and just have it on at all times? So overall this drone isn't great, but considering the price, it definitely deserves a spot on the top 10 list, and that's why it's going to go in the number 9 spot. The number 8 spot is going to go to the Sprinter drone. Now Sprinter helps out in a ton of different situations. For example, in control points, if you're able to cap a full point, you get full supplies and a repair kit. Now this applies to a ton of different modes like capture the flag, assault. It also works in rugby when you score a touchdown. Overall, it's really helpful when you run out of supplies and need that extra boost after maybe capping a flag or capping a point to go to the next one or cap another flag. It's honestly really great. Now I would have had this drone a lot higher on the list, but the biggest problem is that it doesn't work in Team Deathmatch or Team Juggernaut, which kind of defeats the whole purpose of the drone. So overall it works great in most of the modes, but unfortunately it gets into the number 8 spot because it doesn't work in all the modes. The number 7 spot is going to go to Blaster. Now the biggest thing that this drone does is you blow up when you're destroyed. Now this can be really helpful in a ton of different situations. When you're trying to kill the Juggernaut, but the Juggernaut kills you, if you're near enough to him, that explosion from the Blaster drone can still kill the Juggernaut. Even if a player has a ton of supplies active, they're full health, if they kill you and they're close enough to you, you can still take them out. Overall, this drone is really fun to use. It's probably one of the most fun drones to use in the game just because you explode on death, which is awesome. So that's why it's going to go in the number 7 spot. The number 6 spot's going to go to the Saboteur drone. Now this drone is amazing for defending, and even if you want to run away from an enemy, it's great for that as well. Now for this drone, you can place up to 8 mines when you're trying to run away or defend your base. So if you can stay alive, those mines are just going to stack up on top of one another, and it's going to be almost impossible to get through them. Now in addition to critical damage, if you're placing 8 mines at a time, one of those is almost certainly likely to deal critical damage. So even if an enemy player has mine protection, you're still almost guaranteed a kill against them. So if you're running away from an enemy and you use the Saboteur drone, you're almost guaranteed to get away because they're gonna die trying to chase after you. Now the biggest downside of the drone is that the mines take a few seconds to actually activate, so it doesn't work in all situations, but it's still great in most of them. And that's why it's going to be in the number 6 spot. The number 5 spot is going to go to Booster drone. Now when this drone first came out, it was the only drone I used, but it has been nerfed a pretty decent amount since it first originally came out. So before the nerfs, when it first came out, it'd probably be top 3 on the list, but now it only does an additional 20% damage when using it. But to be honest, in the grand scheme, 20% increased damage for a decent amount of time is basically all you need to take out an enemy. Especially if you're using turrets like Freeze, Aceta, or Firebird that do a ton of damage every second. It's a really beneficial drone to have. I don't have a ton to say about this drone. Overall, it's just honestly a great drone and I'd recommend getting it. Number 4 spot's going to the Defender drone. Now this drone gives you an extra 50% increased armor. Having increased armor can help for both attacking and defending, so it works in almost every situation you can be in. Now I put this above Booster because although it's been nerfed a lot, it's still a really nice option that can be both purchased and upgraded with crystals, and almost everyone can obtain it pretty easily. I also really enjoy this drone because the double armor increase lasts for I think 30 seconds to a minute. It's crazy. It lasts just as long as Booster does. It has an extra 50% increased armor, where Booster only has an extra 20% damage. That's why it's going to be in the number 4 spot. Here we are down to the top 3, and the number 3 drone is going to go to Trickster. Now I put Trickster above Defender and Booster because of how fun it is to use. Although it doesn't give increased armor or damage, if you can move really fast, you can either try to dodge the enemies in a strategic manner, or you can just play the game in modes like capture the flag or rugby, where you can just sneak into the enemy's base, sneak out with the flag, or sneak in with the rugby ball and get a touchdown. It's honestly a super fun drone to use. Now, although it has a similar effect to Crisis, you're also able to use both double armor and double damage. So where Crisis kind of lacks, where you can't use every supply with Crisis, this drone you can use all 3 supplies and have that 40% increased speed. Overall, this drone is super fun to use, and that's why it's going to be in the number 3 spot. The number 2 spot is going to go to the Hyperion drone. Now, although this drone doesn't give any increased damage, speed, or armor, being able to have full supplies at any given time has a ton of advantages. Spawning and being able to use all supplies immediately is amazing, especially when you're going against a very powerful enemy team, or if you are attacking an enemy base but run out of supplies, whereas you would usually typically die because you don't have double armor or double damage to take out an enemy fast. You can have all your supplies activated because Hyperion makes it where your supplies don't have any downtime. So you're basically able to get all your supplies back no matter when, which is an amazing thing that you can have, especially in Tanki, where supplies are basically everything. So overall, it's an amazing drone, and that's why it goes into the number 2 spot. Alright, so my personal number 1 drone in Tanki Online is the Crisis drone. Now, I think a lot of you guys saw this coming, but you cannot beat this drone. Although you can only use 1 supply at a time, the bonus effects for each supply basically makes this drone the best in the game. With this drone, you get an additional 90% armor, 60% increased damage, and 70% increased speed. The drone basically has every single drone combined into one to create the best drone in Tanki Online. Now, the biggest letdown about this drone is that it is extremely hard to get. I luckily got it when it first came out, when I was still spending money in the game, but unless you're spending money or getting super lucky, yeah, good luck getting this drone. It kind of sucks because the drone is not only overpowered, but it is super freaking fun to use because it works in any situation. If you're a very offensive player or a very defensive player, it works really well, but overall, I love this drone, and it is by far the best drone in Tanki Online. Let me know what you thought about this list in the comments section down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and I'll hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace out.